had a big breakthrough in February and was able to push it down to a 2:18.59. My optimal is a 2:16.92. So this is going to be a good one if I don't screw anything up. Turn 19, I've actually lost a car there at one point. Welcome back to It's Track Time. I've been driving my GT4 RS out at Circuit of the Americas now for over a year, and I've been slowly refining my lap time. I had a big breakthrough in February and was able to push it down to a 2:18.59. And now I'm trying to push it further down. And my Garmin is currently telling me that my optimal is a 2:16.92. So it's telling me that if it just takes my best segments of all the laps that I've done, screw it all together into the best lap, I'll be at a 2:16.92. And it's telling me that my three biggest areas of inconsistency are effectively turn 12, which is the turn coming out of the back straight, turn 1, which is the turn coming off of the front straight, and turn 19, which is the highest speed turn on the track. And turn 19, I've actually lost a car there at one point, put it into the wall. So that's the turn that I have the most respect for. And it's one that I typically do fairly conservatively because of that. And I've got to work through that mentally and get my consistency down. So if you take those three turns and you look at them sequentially, turn 12, you're coming at about 155 miles an hour, and you're trying to brake very precisely, slow down to about 40 miles an hour, and take it around the apex of that turn. I've worked with that on the simulator, and I've kind of learned that when you can see the back line of turn 12, is about the 200 meter mark. And that's about where you're going to start thinking about braking. I've been working it deeper and deeper, and I've now got down to about 150 meters out. But I play that one by just the way it feels. I just kind of based on what I'm feeling at the time is when I apply the brakes. I kind of get to I see that back edge. I know I'm within 200 meters. I then pause for just a second to get to the 150 meter mark. This is all happening very quick. You're going 155 miles an hour. And then I apply the brakes and then turn. And so my consistency there is not good. And it's telling me there's a half a second between my best lap time and then my best time through that segment. I know if I made that more precise, I would be able to get a whole half second there. Turn 1 is the same kind of thing. Turn 1, you're coming down the front straight. You're going about 140 miles an hour. You're going up the hill, and you're trying to find the right braking point. Once again, I do that by feel, not by precise markers on the track. It's things are coming by extremely fast. It's really hard to hit a precise marker, but I need to be more consistent there. It's telling me there's a third of a second there. And then turn 19 is the one I was just talking about, high speed turn. You can't see the curb that you're trying to go over the top of until you get right up on top of it. So you're kind of turning the car into something you can't see. And then once you see it, you need to do a little micro adjustment and then hit the curb at the right angle such that it goes underneath your car and doesn't upset you. I need to be more consistent on that one. So if I just get those three correct and become more consistent on those three, there's a full second there. And then I know going from turn 3 to 4, I've seen the pro at Dundon, Ted, in my car driving those two turns much quicker than I'm driving them. So I've been just mining that thing for everything I can get out of it. Every time I push a little harder, I get more time. So I know there's more time to be had there. And so if I get all of these things consistent, I think I can get down to a 216, and I've just got to find the right recipe. So in order for me to hit a 217, I'm going to need three things. I'm going to need cool air to make maximum power. I'm going to need my tire pressures to be optimal. And I'm going to need no traffic on the track or very cooperative traffic. And so this is a Sunday morning session. Air temperature's 60 degrees, so it's a great temperature. You can see there's traffic out there. It's a morning session. So I went out with 24 pounds of pressure. My tire pressure is increasing. I'm about at the optimal point right now, and then it's going to overpressure. So I'm in my fourth lap. My tires are warm. Pressures are about where they need to be. So now's the time to try to get a 217. And it's a matter of whether the traffic cooperates at this point. Eventually, my tires are going to get overpressured, and I'm going to be sliding around. So there's only a small window of opportunity here where everything aligns, and I might be able to get a good lap time. So I've got a 991 Cup car behind me. I know I need to let him go by. That's a very fast car. I'm looking for the right spot right here. I say go ahead and go by. So I know he's going to run at a faster pace than me. I want to get him out of the way. And so here he comes around me on turn 11. And this is kind of interesting because he can cut a big hole in the air. So he's going to, with his diffuser and his rear wing, he's going to be able to open up a big air pocket, a big low air pressure pocket behind him. And I'm going to sit in that. And my normal top speed on the back straight is about 155. And you're going to see I get to about 157 right there. So that's a really good top speed. And it's purely because I'm sitting behind this guy. He's now hitting a pile of traffic here, and so our lap times are going into the tank. The best time we've had on this session is a 2:25, which is, not a great lap time for this car. And he's in the same bucket that I'm in. He's got to get around these cars. And every time you hit a car that doesn't give you a pass, you end up just losing your lap time. So you can see how bad my lap times have been. I'm actually with a positive. I actually had a better lap time there, even though I'm sitting behind a car. And so the other cars that I was sitting behind were actually slower than these cars. So we're getting through the traffic now. We're getting to the point where we might get some open track here. He's got a couple cars in front of him. You can see how my delta just got down to a negative 1.6. So I've had some really bad lap times. Okay, so behind me you can see there's a 992 GT3 RS, and he's also in the same kind of problem where he's trying to get through this traffic. I'm watching him really carefully because I know if that's a well-driven car, it can outrun me. So I'm just watching him to see what his pace is. I'm trying to stay up with the 991 Cup car, and in front of me now is a GT4 RS Club Sport, which is a GT4 RS race car. And this one is not moving at pace, so he's only going about 80 miles an hour. Now he's dropping down to 60 or so. So now that you can see my lap time is falling way off. So now I get around him, and it looks like the 992 GT3 RS got around him as well. You can see the Cup car has already cleared these other two cars ahead of us, and I've not even got up to him yet. So now I've got to get up to those two cars and get by them as well. GT3 RS is sitting behind me still. Once again, I'm watching him to see if he's running at a faster pace than me. Every time I hit traffic, he's going to come right up on me, so not surprising. So now we've got a GT4 we need to get around. Hopefully he gives me a pass here real quick, and yeah, there we go. And let me get around him, and it'll be interesting to see if he also gives the GT3 RS a pass, and yeah, he does. So we both get around. Now the Cup car, I'm looking up ahead, and oh, he's ahead of those two cars as well. So he's already cut through two more cars that I haven't even got up to yet. And now it's a matter of how much time it takes me to get up to them and get around them. And then maybe I'll have some clear track. You can see the GT3 RS is falling back a little bit as I move forward up to these other two cars. So it looks like I got a GT4 and a Camaro up ahead of me. And hopefully I catch them on the front straight. I'm going to try to get around the carousel quick here and then try to pass them on the front straight. I should be able to get through 19 faster. It looks like, yeah, I'm closing in on them on 19. And the key is you really want to catch these cars at the right place so you can pass them without losing your lap time. And so I'm going to attempt to pass these two without dropping my lap time. So now we got a 2:22 on the clock, and I need to get around this Camaro before we get up to turn 1, and he gives me a perfect pass. I'm offline a little bit. I need to go around turn 1 now. It's going to be a little slower because I'm offline. I'm already got a negative there. Perfect pass going into turn 2. So that was great, and now it looks like I've got free track now. The 992 GT3 RS just passed the Club Sport, and so now it's interesting to see what his pace is. So now I can go at the pace I want to go at, and you can see I'm quickly dropping my lap time. And so let's see what kind of a pace I can get here. The Cup car is up ahead of me. I'm going to try to close him down. He's going to be running at a very similar pace to me. The GT3 RS is dropping back a lot in the S's. And yeah, the only car ahead of me is the Cup car, so this is really good. So I've got the right air temperature, my tire pressures are good, traffic is good, so this is possibly a good lap. I don't have anyone to cut the air ahead of me now. I've got a tailwind. It's a cold front. So the tailwind's going to help me a little bit, but I've not seen much more than 155. Yeah, right at 156. So the tailwind's helping me a little bit. And as the day goes by, that tailwind's going to drop down. So I'm not going to get the advantage of that later on today. And the air temperature's going to go up. Don't want to screw this up. I was able to get into turn 14. I got a little wide there. Coming into 15, I should be pretty optimal. You can see I've got 3 seconds on the clock now. And so this is going to be a good one if I don't screw anything up. I need to push hard in the carousel. I'm trying to get a 217. Okay, this is where I can't see the curb, and I've got a line with it, and I made that. Come out onto the green. I'm getting closer to the cup car. Don't want to screw up 20 here. That was pretty good. So now I've got about 4 seconds there. Okay, so that's a 2:18.64. So that's a good time for the morning. So now the key is to try to peel some more time off. I've got a good rhythm going here. And right off the bat, I'm starting to get some time off. And here comes the time, and let's see if I can get a half a second here. If I got a half a second, roughly, I'm going to be at about a 217, a high 217. Okay, so there I'm getting real close to a half a second. I'm just at the very beginning. I got to get around this car without it slowing me down, and he's not going to give me a pass. Now watch the time. It all goes away. And so that right there, just that one event throws away your lap. And so now I've got a question of, I'm 8 or 9 laps in. I guess I'm 8 laps in. My tires are over pressure at this point now. I'm not going to be able to brake or turn as well as I was just a couple laps ago because of my tire pressures. So it's getting to the point where I'm just going to basically cool down and throw this session away. So my one opportunity to try to get a 17 was that one lap. And you can see how narrow this is. That one lap was the one time that I had to try to get a 217, and it pretty much aligned, but I was only able to get a 218.5. So that just goes to show how narrow this window of opportunity is. The next wild card I still have in my pocket is new tires. The tires I was using in that session were at the end of life. Hoosier R7s only last me about maybe 3 track days, and this is the 3rd track day. So the one thing I've got going for me is if I can get another cool day with new tires and low traffic, I should be able to push my times down. So I'll see you out at the track next time with new tires.